Добрейшего всем, дамы и господа, с вами Кулин, и сегодня я вас поприветствую здесь, где я в прошлый раз начинал проходить основной ивент патча 2.6. Да-да, если что, мы в Геншине. Сегодня открылась вторая часть сюжета, связанная с ивентом, и должен у нас прибыть сегодня Синсю. Да-да, тот самый синий, которого все любят и которого очень часто любят юзать, особенно в бесне. Давайте уже, думаю, приступать, затягивать я не буду, ибо он уже в скором времени прибудет сюда. Ну что, настал вот тот самый день, когда у нас прибудет Синсю, и остается лишь только мне его встретить. Давайте-ка, пойдемте-ка. И он здесь у нас опять же будет на причале, в том самом месте, где в прошлый раз встречали мы Клей с Альбедо. Так что идем туда. Ну и начинаем. А точнее даже продолжаем смотреть нашу сюжеточку. Хорошо, ожидаем наших гостей.
You must be visiting from Liyue to participate in the Iridori Festival. Huh? Is it Paimon, or have we met somewhere before?
Те, кто знает, поймут.
Yes, in fact we have. I'm Shu from Feiyun Commerce Guild. Aboard this ship we have calligraphers, painters, and even players of Theater Mechanicus. The inventor of Theater Mechanicus previously came to the Feiyun Commerce Guild seeking investment. Although the guild manager was not interested, Master still wanted to support them. We heard that they'd be demonstrating the game and letting people try Theater Mechanicus at the Iridori Festival. So the guild manager instructed Master and I to take the opportunity to come to Inazuma and investigate the product's potential.
Кстати, да, он потом откроется. И я его буду проходить второй раз. Что очень хорошо.
Master, he's
Whoa! Sincho's just sitting there, sound asleep.
Не спал, чел, к сожалению, работал. Эх, да, понимаете ли. Работа такова, что тебя затягивает не туда. То же самое, как ты работаешь над курсовой или какой-нибудь другой хренью.
It's the traveler in Paimon. I presume you are guests in Inazuma as well? It seems fate has destined our paths to cross once again.
Oh, we aren't actually guests. We're actually guides for the Iridori Festival.
Как поживаешь?
No need to worry. I was a little too caught up in a novel on the voyage here. When I finally realized what time it was, the first rays of dawn were already peeking over the horizon. Yes, now that we've arrived, the Kanjo Commission will likely wish to inspect our invitation letter. Let's keep it in hand. Huh? That's odd.
Что такое? Что тут случилось?
Paper underneath my bag. Strange. I don't recall.
Подвох, подвох. Сейчас будет подвох. Вот тебе подвох.
There's no doubt about it. It's from the same series as the story we found before. Even the handwriting looks exactly the same.
The story you found before?
Oh yeah, in the warehouse down by the.
Вообще-то, вообще-то.
The poem hunt competition. Yeah, that's it. A friend of ours is on Rito to paint portraits of the five Kasen. You know, as part of the Iridori Festival. Poetic stories about the five Kasen. If you can find one of the stories and give it to this friend of ours.
Wait a moment. So you mean that...
Совсем не умеешь врать, Пайма. Совсем не умеешь. Да.
Stuff on the spot like that.
Достоверно, надо все же было придумать.
There's a chance of meeting Kelks in person?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Really? That's wonderful! I knew that Kelks would attend the Irodori Festival, but convincing my father to let me come to Inazuma was proving to be quite the high hurdle. I had to really rack my mind to come up
Хорошая
with the
отмазка.
excuse of evaluating the investment
Надо
value
бы как
of
бы
Theater
пользоваться ей
Mechanicus.
чаще, Синсю. Ну ладно.
Just a few days later, word then came that Calx would be busy painting portraits of the five Kasen during... It is a most rare opportunity for both Calx and I to be in Inazuma together, but it seemed he would be too busy with the portraits to meet with me.
Don't worry, Shinjo. Even though Calx has work to do, he still has time to see friends. We can take you to see him right now. Also, we heard that Calx did illustrations for your A Legend of Sword novel.
Ah, so you've already heard. To be honest, my works have drawn little interest in Liyue. However,
Это мы знаем, потому что можно было узнать из истории и из других заданий.
But he also carries out his craft with great alacrity. I heard that it took him merely a few hours to finish the illustrations for the latest chapter. But when I looked at the art, the brushwork did not even look the slightest bit rushed. His work is truly... Oh my! I was beginning to get carried away there. Let us depart. Quickly now.
Да, полетели. Только знаете, что потом будет дальше? Те, кто уже успел пройти, знают подвох. Ну, а те, кто нет, вы как раз потом узнаете. Подвох там снова будет. Да, у нас вторая часть. И погнали прямо сюда. Пойдемте посмотрим. Я, ребяточки, у нас будет здесь на месте стоять. Все. Поговорим.
Paimon, how are you?
You must be Calx. It's a great pleasure to finally meet you. I am the author of A Legend of Sword, forgive me. It's rude of me to introduce myself by my pen name when meeting in person. Please, call me Xingqiu.
And you may call me Albedo, then.
No, that would be most improper.
Ну, мы как бы знаем друг друга, так что почему бы и нет? Надо же говорить Альбедыч, Синий. Да, приятно же, да, вы понимаете.
Besides, we've already corresponded with each other many times before. In fact, I feel a bit self-conscious.
It's not just you, Albedo. We haven't seen Xingqiu act this awkward before either.
Что-то новенькое.
You guys, it's certainly not good taste for you two to be teased. Oh, by the way, we happened to find a story from the poem hunt competition at the docks.
Poem hunt?
You know, that thing where we have to find pieces of paper with stories of the five cousins.
Опять Паймон пытается отмазаться. Пытается отмазаться.
And then he was allowed to be...
Huh? Oh, yes, that's right.
Да. Показываем. Проверяем.
I understand the story now. Thank you.
Splendid. Though, I'm still piecing together the story myself. Would you kindly explain it to me in more detail?
If all of you are free, why don't we discuss this over a meal?
Well...
Do you have other plans, Xingqiu?
No, not at all. Speaking of dining, Shimura's unagi chasuke is quite delicious. Would you like to go there?
Shimura's. Unfortunately, today...
Довольно ветрено. Ладно. Хотя ветер тут не чувствуется даже в игре.
That's perfectly fine with me. But I must first unpack my luggage. Let's meet later at Uyu Restaurant.
Ну, видно, сами начинается это дело.
No way! Paimon thinks we acted well together. Did we say something we weren't supposed to?
No, Paimon, I'm not referring to us. Traveler, what are your thoughts?
Huh? Xingqiu's suspicious.
Странные подозрения. И я знаю почему.
Paimon, you read the poem, right? Although it may seem confusing to Xingqiu on its own, what if we read it together with a previous poem we found?
Read them together? Let's see. Suiko lost Aoi no Okina's poem in a drunken stupor. So, Aoi no Okina recovered the poem and gave it to some mysterious person. Huh? Wait a minute. Could today's story be hinting that the one who stole the latest copy...
И потом кое-что произойдет, из-за чего как бы оп, здрасте, контора потихонечку прикрывается. Да-да.
And that is precisely the point of suspicion. If Xingqiu had only just arrived in Inazuma, how could he recommend Shimura's Chasuke? Moreover, he didn't raise any questions when I suggested another place because of the windy weather. This means he knows that Shimura's...
Are you saying that Xingqiu has already been in Inazuma for some time, and that he's only pretending he just arrived?
Yes, that is indeed my conclusion.
Вот именно.
Xingqiu be the book thief? His mission is to fight for justice, isn't it? There's no way he'd do something against his own ideal.
Calm down, Paimon. Even though this is the first time I've met Xingqiu in person,
Ничего страшного, там все
for
прояснится.
some time now.
Дальше будет
I
яснее
think there
понятно.
must be some deeper motive at play here. The story also tells us that Aoi no Okina flees with a poem because...
Oh? Could Xingqiu be in danger?
It's difficult to say at this point. But given that Uyu restaurant is indoors, it'll be easy for us to detect anyone follow. I'll be relying on your assistance to get to the bottom of this matter. Good. Then let's head to Uyu restaurant.
Так. Полетели, тпшаемся сюда. Придется, к сожалению, бежать. Бежать придется. Ну да ладно. Это прям здесь. Всего лишь какие-то 60 метров, даже меньше. Вы же понимаете. И как всегда, сейчас у моих утавы стамины закончится. Ладно, залетаем.
I don't see anyone suspicious around. It seems clear for the moment. Let's go inside and wait for Xingqiu.
Oh, this whole thing's starting to make Paimon a little nervous.
Типичный Паймон, который начинает нервничать. Вау, вот это классика.
When Xingqiu gets here.
First, we must ascertain whether Xingqiu was already in Inazuma or not. If we can find evidence of him deceiving us, since we're still waiting for him, why don't you go and chat with other guests in the restaurant and see if you can learn anything useful?
Хорошо. Заходим. И сейчас будем начинать делать допрос. Допрос с допросом. Так. А ну и пойдем поспрашиваем. Начнем отсюда.
The last phase of the Irodori Festival is when they release the all-new publications. The one I'm really looking forward to is A Legend of Sword.
That's right. A signed first edition is going to become quite the collectible. I've got to get my hands on a copy.
I've seen Genyu's signature before. His handwriting is super neat. He must be really diligent about his style.
He'll be there in person on the day of the release, so we'll get a good look at him then. I hear that he's actually pretty young.
Wait a minute. Did you just hear that? Not only will Xingqiu be signing novels,
Очень аккуратная подпись, да? Намек сразу же есть первый. Так. Ну, Альбедыча, наверное, все же спрошу в конце. Попробую я поискать где-нибудь еще. У нас нет ничего. А, где-то еще вот здесь. Проморгал, видимо, какой-то момент. Вот он, да, проморгал.
Hello there.
Do you
What
have
can I
any
get
special
for you?
recommendations today?
Why, of course. I
голосовуха сбилась, вы увидели сами.
Seafood. It's been pouring these past few days, so the fishing boats haven't been able to sail at all. But the weather finally cleared up today, so we have some fresh catch.
So the weather at sea has been...
It sure has. A few guests from Liyue were just telling me that their boat was heaved.
Oh, this might be some useful information.
Ну и Альбедыч, давай.
Albedo, what should we talk about when Xingqiu gets here?
I will try to break the ice by talking about our work on novels and illustrations. If he really is hiding something, then he might feel even more nervous than we do. If we start by talking about our work creating novels...
Oh, come to think of it, Xingqiu mentioned that he'd like to thank you for finishing the illustrations on time. He said they looked amazing despite the time you had.
Is that so? That is also a very valuable...
Хорошо. Давай-ка полетели. Подождали Синсю, и затем начинается...
Delicious. Inazuman cuisine largely consists of fresh seafood, which is certainly to my liking.
That's good. We were worried you might not have an appetite because you didn't sleep well. Now's our chance. Let's talk to Xingqiu and see if he says anything useful. Maybe we could start by asking him about the journey.
Так, обсудить путь в Иназуму, книги, виды во время путешествия. Давай, наверное, путь в Иназуму. Пойдем с этого.
I've never embarked on such a long journey before. Though I was quite excited when we set off, the long days at sea quickly became most...
Speaking of the journey, did anything noteworthy happen along the way?
Well, to be honest, I spent most of the trip with my nose in a novel.
Well, that didn't tell us much.
Так.
To be honest, there wasn't much to see. Just water all around, morning to night. The sheer monotony of the trip caused everyone to grow a little impatient. So, when the peak of Mount Yogo finally appeared in the distance as we approached the islands of Inazuma, everyone crowded the deck to have a look. However, the ship sailed along at a crawling pace. It took a whole day from the time we saw the mountain peak.
Paimon didn't catch anything suspicious so far.
Нет, было кое-что, Паймон-то ошиблась.
Right! If it took an entire day to reach the docks, then it would have been pouring rain at the time they saw the top.
We learned a couple of things from his account, but we still require more evidence. Let's discuss creating novels with Xingqiu.
Так, роман
It's
нужно.
entertaining to read novels. Writing one is an endeavor of its own. You must give great thought to every detail, from the layout of the plot to the rhythm of the lines. And even when you have come up with interesting content, there's still no guarantee that it will be to your liking.
I couldn't agree more. Whether it's writing a book, creating art, or studying alchemy, seldom can you really feel joy after seriously delving into the work.
Xingqiu and Albedo are getting into some deep topics now. But nothing suspicious has come
Остается
up.
только иллюстрации.
Speaking of illustrations, Albedo, I've long wished to express my sincerest gratitude for providing the illustrations in my novel. My novel didn't sell well in Liyue, so I must admit that I had some reservations regarding its potential. Yet you've consistently managed to select the most important scene of the chapter for your illustrations. This made me feel as though what I was trying to express could be understood after all.
Thank you. However, I took some risks in the
Риски?
illustrations, so
Кто не рискует, тот не жирует, вы
I'm slightly
понимаете?
uneasy myself.
Так что
Light novel
давай-ка.
illustrations are typically centered around the characters, but this time I adopted a different approach.
Well, that scene was intended to depict the change in the world, so I thought it very fitting to draw only...
Doesn't sound like anything suspicious.
No, there was a crack in his alibi. My illustrations were sent for printing the moment they arrived in Inazuma. So, logically speaking... Xingqiu, we have something very important to ask.
Oh? Why the solemn looks all of a sudden?
И вот ты нас обманываешь.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
Mr. Okazaki told us earlier that actually the weather at sea was very bad these last few days. So when you said that everyone came running to the deck to see Mount Yoga...
Разнос начался. Разнос начался.
On top of that, the latest installment of A Legend of Sword will only be revealed at the Irodori Festival. Even we, the creators, haven't received a sample copy.
Well,
Ну
The
да.
jig's up, Xingqiu. You were already in Inazuma before today. Are you in some kind of danger but can't tell us the truth? Don't worry. The Traveler and Albedo are no pushovers.
no, please. You misunderstand me. I suppose my lack of sleep is inevitably taking its toll on my
Не
mind.
спал,
I
да.
didn't notice for a
Вот
moment that you were
поспал в
testing
этой
me at all.
синсю, бы поприкольнее. Да и в пачке бы мы на моей националке бы нормально бы
I
фигачил.
did, in fact, come to
Да, он так и
Inazuma
нормально
to
фигачит,
handle
поэтому
some
чем
things.
мучиться-то?
Let me consider how to explain this. Oh, this is most embarrassing.
Oh, well, if this isn't a coincidence, I didn't expect to see.
А ты какого черта тут решил явиться, а?
Tone-deaf bard, what are you doing here?
I heard that the owner of this establishment has some fine-aged wines. didn't wanna miss the opportunity to taste them.
Ясно. Я уже намекаю на то, что сейчас Венти будет
Can't
творить тут
possibly
чудеса.
be up to anything good.
Says who? In fact, I come as the bearer of
Добрая,
good
в
tidings.
скобочках, весть.
I just bumped into Kujo Sara a moment ago. She said that the Tenryou Commission has apprehended the criminal who stole all those copies of A Legend of Sword. You needn't worry about it any longer.
Раз, два, три.
The criminal who stole A Legend of Sword?
Did I say something I shouldn't have?
Oh
Зачем
no.
его выяснил?
The person they apprehended. Was it by chance an editor named Onodera?
Apologies, Kujo Sara didn't mention a name. But I saw her taking someone toward Hanamizaka.
Everyone, it's too late to explain. We must make haste and
Пошли
rescue
спасать.
Onodera.
Вот, начинается веселье. А, прям, наверное, здесь могу тпшнуться, да? А, прям давай здесь. Все равно же мы выходим, по факту, с ресторана. И сейчас я буду опять мучиться с моей Хутавой, который любит похулиганить с моей выносливостью. И, да, точнее, со стабиной, потому что тут по-другому может быть называться. Оп, здрасте. В чем тут дело?
Please, wait. Onodera is innocent.
Oh, so you must be the author of A Legend of Sword. I didn't expect to see others tagging along with you.
Anyway, you mustn't take him away. I can explain everything.
No need to worry, Zhenyu. I've just explained everything to Madame Kujo, and Kuroda has testified for me.
Yes. In fact, we were just getting ready to leave.
Oh, phew. What a relief.
Уже покраснел, видно.
Wait a minute. Does everyone else here already...
Well, to be precise, we had dispatched 2 additional squads here, in order to prevent the suspect from escaping.
А чё Риты, кстати, вопрос интересный.
Looks pretty flustered.
Ну ладно.
What exactly is going on here?
Though it's most embarrassing, it appears quite a few people are aware of the situation now. In the end, I'm the one responsible for this whole predicament.
No, Genyu. It's only appropriate that I take responsibility for this. Everyone, please let me explain. For the Iridori Festival, I recommended the idea of selling newly released novels signed by the authors. Not only was this the first major project I was in charge of since joining the Yai publishing house, but Lady Yai also gave me a lot of support. However, I did not discuss our plans with the authors in advance. As a result, it caused a great deal of trouble for Genyu.
Yes, to be frank, calligraphy is not my strong point. So signing events are really
А еще и
not my
почерк не тот.
forte.
Вы знали? А сейчас там
Even though such an event
выяснится.
will be difficult for Genyu. After telling him how important the plans were to me, he immediately boarded a ship to Inazuma to come up with a solution. So these past few days, Genyu has been actively practicing his handwriting. However, it takes time to sign each book, and we realized the time we reserved for this, so I came up with the idea of moving the new books from the warehouse to my place. That way, Genyu could use these few days to sign them all. I thought everything would work out without a hitch. I never expected that someone would immediately realize that the books were missing from the warehouse. To make things worse, I was on vacation and staying with Genyu in my house these past few days. I had no idea that the situation had turned into such a huge mess. All of this happened because I wanted to prove myself through this event.
Onodera, I agreed to your proposal because I didn't want the readers to know of my unsightly handwriting. Also, I knew that Onodera had been misled by one of my prior At a previous event, the Yai publishing house had requested autographs of authors. I practiced tirelessly for an entire day to finally deliver a stylish and elegant signature for the... But, looking back on it now, I had dug myself into a hole by delivering that nice signature for the
Hey, come on, you two. Loosen up a little. The theft was nothing more than a simple misunderstanding. Besides, everyone has something they do not wish others to see.
Yeah, that's right. All that matters is that Shincho and his books are okay.
Onodera, I think you should explain the truth regarding the stolen books to the rest of the people on Rito.
Yes, I understand. I'll apologize to everyone.
We should probably be heading back.
Так, ну что, отправляемся опять обратно на Рита. И уже здесь, скорее всего, будем начинать творить то, что здесь у нас должно быть. Опять я снова мучаюсь со своей Хутавой. Но на этот раз уже все. Сейчас у нас окончательно прояснится.
Onodera, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be on leave these few...
Да, ситуация
I'm
не
very
из
sorry
лучших.
for all the trouble that I've caused.
Yes, Onodera, but why didn't you tell everyone earlier? If you had told us, we could have thought of some ways to help you.
That's right. We're a team, and we should be helping each other in tough situations.
Let's leave the past behind us now. Our first priority is to help Genyu with his signatures. How is your progress so far?
My progress is not what I had hoped for. Even after working through the night these past few days, I've only finished perhaps 1/10 of the signatures.
Oh, no wonder Shincho looked so sleepy today.
Только подписи собрать, вау. Да-да-да, тут как бы
Murata,
раз-два,
go back to the
раз-два,
Eye
раз-два,
Publishing House and get
готово.
Aratani to book a room on the second floor of the Uyu restaurant. We'll be using it for Genyu's emergency calligraphy lessons.
Yes, Mr. Hirayama. It just so happens that my brother is a calligrapher. Should I ask him to lend his assistance as well?
Yes, good idea. Ah, you've just reminded me. 2 calligraphers from Liyue arrived today. We've worked with them before, so I'll go and ask them to help out.
It seems I'm really in for it now.
No need to worry, Genyu. I'm sure you can do it. Didn't you finish the last chapter of your novel in just 1 week's time?
Yes, but writing novels and learning calligraphy are two
Это
entirely different...
другое.
Even though
Да,
Shincho still has
ладно,
to deal with
что
his
ж,
handwriting
прощаем.
issue, Paimon somehow feels a little relieved now.
I always used to prefer working alone in my workshop. But I've come to realize that Solving problems with others also...
We also owe a special ode of gratitude to the mysterious person who has been leaving important info for us.
Huh? You mean whoever left behind those stories about the 5...
Pardon me, but what are you talking...
Oh, right. We haven't had a chance to explain things.
Надо же объясняться, так что на всякий случай говорим ему.
It appears that Onodera and I were spotted when we were moving the books. Albedo, may I ask you one thing? Are you able to include me in a portrait as well? Not only do I owe the successful resolution of today's incident to that story, but I also hope that I'll remember this lesson.
No problem. Considering the similarities between the portraits and the events that have taken place.
Хорошо. И у нас катсценочка должна начаться будет.
That figure was none other than Aoi no Okina himself. This turn of events had begun with an unnamed individual, under whose coercion, Aoi no Okina was forced to take drastic measures to retrieve a page of poetry. He knew nothing of this individual's true intentions. All he knew was that the poem had to do with an old acquaintance, Akahito.
Все. Выдвигаемся, ну и портрет на месте. Хорошо. Все отличненько. Пожалуй, все так у нас здесь и будет.
Wonder how Shincho's calligraphy training is going at Uyu restaurant. Hey, do you think whoever left those stories for us could be hiding somewhere nearby? Oh, hello? Mr. Storywriter? Are you here?
Ну пойму, зачем же она так говорит? Зачем?
He's a friend of ours and the release of his new book is super important to him.
Всего лишь кошар испугался.
What's that sound? It was just a cat. Looks like we can't make them reveal themselves that. It's getting late now. Well, let's go back and get some rest.
Ну, хорошо. Ну что ж, сюжеточка пройдена, и у меня открылся театр Механикус. Хорошо. Буду снимать уже, пожалуй, уже где-то в следующем выпуске. Ну, а я на этом буду завершать. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, ставьте, конечно, видосики. Ну и, конечно же, всем удачи и всем пока-пока.